Hi, I'm Caitlin, and this is my YouTube channel. I have been knitting and crocheting a lot this year, and I watch a lot of knitting, crochet podcasts on YouTube. I really enjoy them. I find a lot of inspiration from them. I find the ones that are kind of coming up for me that I watch or like in my algorithm are mostly people that are knitting adult garments, and I feel like right now I'm like super locked into knitting children's garments. I have 3 little children and I'm pregnant with my 4th, and I've just been feeling so much knitting and crochet mojo to make little cute things for my kids and not really as much to make things for myself right now. Part of that is also because like my body is changing and the things that I would make are not gonna like fit right now and all that kind of stuff. It's just like not that exciting to try to find like pregnancy friendly patterns. And I just really want to make stuff for my kids and especially for the new baby. And so I thought maybe it would be inspiring to other people out there who are knitting for their children, knitting for other children in their lives, to see some of the patterns that I'm making and want to make. So that's why I'm recording this podcast. Anyway, I hope you'll stay. I hope you enjoy. So I'm going to do this in the typical podcast style. I'm going to talk about my finished objects, my works in progress, and any acquisitions or plans that are really exciting me right now. So I will start with finished objects. I have 4 finished objects, but I only have 2 of them with me because the other 2 were gifts / like for other people. So the first thing that I finished this year is actually one of my favorite things that I've knit ever, like of all-time favorite knits, and I don't have it because it was for somebody else's baby, and it is the Sheepish little sweater, and I'll put all the links and everything in the description, but I'll put a picture here so you can see what it looked like. It just came out so cute. I knit it in the 6 to 12 month size, so it came together really quickly. It's a worsted weight pattern. I used the recommended yarn, which is Malabrigo worsted, and this is Bijou Blue, which is the color for the sky. The green color for the grass, and then this black and khaki was the sheep, like the white part of the sheep and the black part of the sheep, and the white for the fence. So I really liked working with this yarn. It's non-superwash, 100% merino wool. And I ended up getting another skein of the blue because I had so much of the other 3 colors left over, as you can see, that I decided I'm gonna make another one for my son. But I didn't have enough of the blue, so I got more of the blue. I just have to wind it up. So that's probably gonna be my next cast on, but I loved that pattern. It's a super simple raglan, and it's just a regular raglan, and then when you get to kind of that bottom like third of the body and the sleeves, there's a few rows of color work that were super simple. You're never holding more than 2 colors at once, and I think it would be a great kind of beginner color work pattern for anyone that wants to try. You don't even have to do like any raglan stitches because you're down at the bottom of the body, and it's only a few rounds of color work, and it just really, for the amount of effort that went into doing the color work, it just looks so amazing. I, put pictures on Instagram, and just so many people were just complimenting how cute it was, and it's just really well-written pattern, very simple, but the outcome is just kind of amazing. Like, I want to make them for all of my kids, but I'm going to start with just another one exactly like that for my son, who's 2. And one idea that I have actually is I feel like it would be so cute to make that exact same pattern, but instead of the blue sky, do like a variegated yarn that kind of looks like a sunset, so kind of like orange, yellow, pink, but I haven't found a Malabrigo worsted color that would fit that description. So if anybody knows a similar yarn that comes in a color like that, please leave a comment and let me know, because I really want to make a sunset version of that sweater. Next, I finished 2 Bonnetclavas. This is my own design, and I am working on writing a pattern. It's a crochet hat with an attached scarf or strap under the chin. One was also a gift to my best friend's nephew, and one I made for my oldest daughter, which I can show you. And both of them I made in the strap version. So as you can see, there's just a little strap here. I got this really cute button from my local yarn store. And for this, I used Cascade 220 Aran, which is a superwash. And I really wanted to use an Aran weight for this. I've made a bunch of Bonnetclavas, but I feel like I never really landed on the perfect yarn. And I feel like the missing piece was using an Aran weight yarn instead of a worsted weight. It just kind of gives it that structure that it needed. Oh, actually, I have this that I made, I think last year. This is using a worsted weight, and as you can see, it just like, I don't know if you can actually see, but see how this like holds its shape so much more, and this one's really like floppy. So even though this is a great hat, great for like when it's not too cold, it has the attached scarf, and it's really nice and soft. It's just not, it didn't have enough structure to really be like a winter hat. And so I made both the gift for my friend's nephew and the one for my daughter in the Cascade 220 Aran, and I feel like that's gonna be, when I do finally get a pattern written, that's gonna be the recommended yarn. And also the fact that it is superwash, because it's like a kid's pattern, I do feel like that kind of helps. Yeah, so it's really simple. It's just basically for crochet granny squares. I'm gonna put some pictures on the screen because it's kind of hard to show it not on a head, but it's just 4 squares, 1, 2, 3, and 1 on the top. And so you seam those together, and then you add face ribbing around the back of the neck, and then either the strap or the attached scarf pieces. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this came out. My daughter loves purple, which is why I chose purple. The only bummer was it looks like it got caught on like some Velcro or something on her snowsuit and pulled a little bit, but what can you do? So those were the 2 Bonnetclavas. I'll put pictures of both so you can see both colors. I really liked the blue colors that I chose for the other one, and I kind of want to make that again for my son also, but we'll see. Okay, my last finished object so far this year is this little baby bonnet. This is Rigmor's Bonnet by Petiteknit, and I knit it in Duo by Sandnes Garn, which is a merino cotton blend. And I really, really like this yarn. It's so soft. It's not hard on the hands or anything like that, which can sometimes be the case for cotton yarns. And the pattern was great. I've never made like a little cutesy little baby bonnet like this, and I'm just really happy with how it came out. So I definitely want to make more baby patterns in Duo, because I'm due in June 15th. And so it's really going to be a summer baby. And so I'm really excited to make more little summer patterns for this baby in this yarn. But what I like about this bonnet is it has this little eyelet detail, which I think is really pretty. I'd never done eyelet like that. And you know how sometimes you look at something and you're like, oh, that must be so complicated because it looks so nice. It's so like, and then you do it and it's so simple. So this is an example of that. But anyway, this was really, I mean, it's a Petiteknit pattern, so it's obviously well written, easy to follow. I think I knit the smallest size, which was probably 0 to 3 months. And yeah, it came together really, really fast, and I can't wait for her to wear it. Yay! So, okay, I'm so thirsty. Okay, I have a lot of whips but they're all really fun. So first I have these mittens. These are cashmere mittens that have this really pretty cable running up the front of the hand. And this pattern actually I got from my local yarn store. The lady who owns the store, this is one of her patterns. I couldn't find it on Ravelry, and actually I've been meaning to ask her about it when I go in, but they were called the cabled cashmere mitten or something like that, and they use this amazing worsted weight cashmere. I don't have the band on it, so I'm gonna have to put it in the description, but I'm like, this was a splurge. Actually, this yarn I bought myself for Christmas and like put it under the Christmas tree. And I just love it. Like, I love these mittens. I have to finish them before it gets too hot so I can wear them. This is the first mitten. I'm having like second mitten syndrome. But I saw they had a sample hanging in my local yarn store, and I said I have to make these. And I've never done anything with cables, and I really, really want to, but a cable knit sweater usually has so many different cables and it's so intricate and all the charts, and I just felt like I needed to start small and not bite off more than I could chew. And I felt like this was a perfect first cable pattern, and this was the same thing like the eyelet. You look at it and you're like, oh my God, that must be so hard to do, and it just looks so fancy, and then you do it and you're like, no, it's actually really simple. You just have to like know how to count. So yeah, I love this pattern. I love these mittens. I can't wait to wear them. I am gonna finish them. But like I said, all my mojo right now is knitting stuff for my kids. So we'll see when I get to finishing these. Next is this little cardigan slash jacket that I cast on for the new baby. This was actually the first thing that I cast on. And this is the beginner's jacket by Petiteknit. And it's a cardigan that's knit in garter stitch. And I don't know, I love the look of it. I'm really loving the look of garter stitch right now for whatever reason. And also stripes. I'm obsessed with stripes right now. And I really wanted to knit this, but I wanted to use yarn that I had in my stash because I need to do more of knitting from the yarn in my stash. And I had some Alpaca from Sandnes Garn in this pink and purple. And I just thought that would be so cute to do stripes on this beginner's jacket, and Alpaca is one of the recommended yarns. So that worked out nicely. I cast that on from yarn in my stash, and I do have 2 more, so I don't think I'm gonna run out of yarn. I do think I'll be able to finish it. If anything, I'll probably have a little bit of leftover. So I'm really enjoying this. I mean, it's like a mindless kind of knit that you can just pick up, knit a couple rows. You don't really have to think about it because I'm already past the raglan and just on the body. So I'll just have to finish the body, do the sleeves, and it's very simple. The only thing is that in this pattern, you have to knit the sleeves flat and then seam them up. So I haven't done that before, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. The reason you can't knit it in the round, of course, is because it wouldn't look, you would have to knit a row and then purl a row instead of just knitting, which would be like, I would rather not do that. I would rather just knit all the rows and then seam it up. So that is the beginner's jacket by Petiteknit. And I'm really excited. I am knitting this in, I think, a 6-month size. I'm pretty sure a 6-month size. So it's something that she can wear like in her first fall and winter. I might end up kind of putting this on hold and focusing more on the summery knits that she would wear like right away, and then finish this later on because she's not gonna wear this right away anyway because it's gonna be really warm because it's alpaca. So I love these colors. It's so cute. Really happy with this. And another Petiteknit pattern, you can't really go wrong. Next whip is another Bonnetclava that actually is for somebody else again. I offered this in my daughter's school auction, like a crochet hat as an item that you could bid on. And the person who won it decided on these colors. It's for their daughter, who is the same age as my oldest daughter, and they wanted it with the scarf. So it's almost done. The last thing that I have to do is, I felt like I love the mix of these three colors here. They look so nice together. When she picked them out, I was like, I don't know. My dog has an itch. What was I saying? Oh, but something to me didn't feel right about just the scarf pieces by themselves. Felt like, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. And so I had the idea of doing a crochet border with the navy blue on the striped pieces. And I did a little poll on my Instagram, and 100% of respondents said yes, I should do that. So that's the last thing I have to do, and then weave in the ends and it's done. But yeah, I actually love how these colors turned out together. And this is also the Cascade 220 Aran. So basically that's the only yarn I'm using for my Bonnetclavas as of right now. And then I have two more whips. One is for my younger daughter, and this is the Tulip Farm sweater, the kids version, by Harvey Road Knits. And it is a fingering weight sweater that has, oh, I'm really not showing this well. It's a fingering weight sweater knit in Knitting for Olive Merino, and it has this really cute, sorry, my nails are horrible. It has this really cute tulip motif. I might insert some pictures or video. Really cute tulip motif at the bottom. So there's going to be 3 rows of tulips. I just finished the first row with the yellow. And the way that it's knit is you knit across the back panel, and then you pick up stitches in the front and do increases, and then you connect all the way across in the front, and then eventually you join in the round underneath the armpit, and then you knit a few more rows before starting the color work. And in the picture, the designer did blue sky, and then, you know, the tulip color and the tulip stem green, and then brown for the ground. And I just didn't really like the look of the brown, and so instead I wanted to do like a super green for the grass and a lighter green for the tulip stem. And so that's what I ended up doing. And at first I picked out this yellow, which is Buttercup, and this purple, which really is giving like blue vibes actually. It's a French anemone, and this hot pink, which is pink daisies. So these, at first this was gonna be the 3 rows of tulips, the tulip colors. And then after knitting the first row of the yellow tulips, I was like, I can't use this purple. It's too dark, it's too blue, it's, I don't know, it just like isn't gonna go. So I had these 2 colors that I liked. And I kind of had a color crisis. I'm not super great at choosing colors. And so I went into my stash and I found that I did have these 3 colors of Knitting for Olive Merino: red, flamingo, and white. And so I was kind of putting them together, trying to figure out, like, could any of these be a third color that could work? And I kind of, in my head, I was thinking it should be a light pink. It should go yellow, light pink, dark pink. But I didn't like these two pinks together. They look good on camera, but there's something about this flamingo that it's a little bit orangey, I guess. And I don't know, it's like salmon. Like, I feel like the name of it should be salmon, not flamingo. Like, a flamingo to me is like bright pink, you know what I mean? Actually, I think this color literally is called flamingo. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought. So I panicked and I really didn't want to knit a fingering weight colorwork sweater for my daughter and then hate one of the colors. So I did a little research. There is another yarn store in my area that I've never been to. It's a little bit further from like my closest store, but my closest store does not carry really any European yarn brands. Maybe they have like Lang Yak and I think that's it. But I went on the website of this other yarn store that I hadn't been to, and I was looking at the pictures and I saw in one of the pictures, I was like, that's definitely Knitting for Olive. So they carry Knitting for Olive. I'll take a chance. I'll go there and see if they have the merino and any other colors that might work. So I literally went there today before picking my girls up from school, and I emerged victorious. I think I got the perfect pink to go with this. So you guys can tell me what you think, but I got this light pink. The color is Poppy Rose, and I think that's gonna be a really nice combination. So I'm glad I went through the effort of going there, and I feel a lot better about my color choices now. So I'm just about to start the second row of tulips in this color, and then the last one will be this color. And there will also be tulips on the ends of the arms. Actually, this pattern is similar-ish to the Sheepish little sweater where you're kind of just doing plain stockinette, and then those last few rounds of the bottom, you're doing the color work. The difference is the construction at the top. The Sheepish little sweater is a raglan, and this is, I don't know what this is called, where you do the back and then the front. Yeah. The whole fingering weight sweater thing, I'm not convinced. But since it's a child size and the pattern is so cute, I'm doing it. But I don't know if I could knit a fingering weight sweater for myself. Like, this is serious. But it's really looking so cute, so yay. And then my last whip is another sweater, but this one's for my oldest daughter. And this one is inspired by Lucky Charms. And the reason for that is because, so I was on my phone yarn shopping a while ago, and my daughter came up and she was like, oh, I want to like pick out some stuff for myself and you can make me something. And she ended up picking out these 5 colors, not the collar, but the 5 stripe colors of Double Sunday, and she wanted me to make a sweater with those 5 colors. And so I thought about it a little bit. Okay, what do I want to do with those colors? They're kind of like a pastel rainbow, and I just wanted to do something simple. And I had actually already also this screen, and I was just thinking like, oh, rainbow. She's really into rainbows. I have this green. It's going to be St. Patrick's Day. It's going to be spring. What if I did a striped sweater with green ribbing on the neck and the cuffs, and then duplicate? Well, at first I was thinking to do color work, but then I decided that I'll probably just do duplicate stitch of some shamrocks like a big shamrock in the front, or maybe a row of shamrocks. I'm still not totally sure. But I don't know. I was like, oh, that would be so cute. It just kind of reminded me of like Lucky Charms and St. Patrick's Day. And obviously St. Patrick's Day has passed, but that's okay because I have 3 other children who will wear this in the future. And so it can still be kind of St. Patrick's Day themed or spring. I mean, it's spring themed. There's clovers all spring. So that's kind of what I came up with. So the pattern is the Monday Sweater Junior by Petiteknit. And if I was gonna go back, I'd probably choose a different pattern because it's not necessarily the best pattern for stripes because of the way that it's constructed, which is that you do short row shaping in the back and then like before you start doing the raglan all around. And so you can see those first few stripes coming in the front. It's a kid sweater, like it's fine, but was it the best sweater to choose for stripes? No. But I'd already bought the pattern. I'd already bought the yarn, which was the recommended yarn, and so whatever, I was gonna do it. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, if I was gonna make another striped raglan sweater like this, I would either do bigger stripes so that, you know, to avoid this coming in the front, or I would maybe choose a different pattern. But, you know, obviously, like I've said many times in this video, it's a Petiteknit pattern. It's very simple and, you know, well written, and I'm really liking how it's looking. I'm loving the fabric. I'm loving the yarn. I'm loving the colors. So all in all, I'm happy. But if I were going to do it again, I would probably choose a different pattern for a striped sweater. So it remains to be seen what exactly I'm going to do on the chest. I have a couple ideas, but I was thinking kind of like shamrock theme. And yeah, so that's my last whip. And I'll put all these colors in the description. But they're mostly the Petiteknit colors, her line of Double Sunday. And yeah, I definitely want to, I feel like this is just such a good yarn for kid stuff. I mean, is it going to be as durable as something more rustic? Probably not, but it's super comfortable. And my younger daughter is really sensitive and like to like itchy things. So for her especially, I feel like this is such a good yarn choice. So Double Sunday by Sandnes Garn is what I'm using here. I'm a little worried. This is all I have of the yarn. If you can see, I'm a little worried that I'm playing yarn chicken here and I'm gonna run out. I'm knitting the size 4 to 5 years old because my daughter's turning 5 in May. And I don't know if she has a long torso or what it is, but I feel like when I've been buying recently her clothes that are 5 years, they're already, like I can see her midriff, like they're already too short. So I'm trying to kind of make everything a little bit extra long, and if I have to like roll up the sleeves for the next few months, whatever, it's fine. I think that might be why I'm running low on yarn. So it's possible I'm gonna have to get more. But honestly, this Double Sunday, like I'm liking it so much, I feel like I'll find other uses for it if I, you know, have leftover. So that's it for my whips. And actually this leads me into acquisitions really nicely because when I went to get that Knitting for Olive Merino, I was in a yarn store, so obviously I had to look around, and I asked them, oh, do you carry Sandnes Garn? Because they had all these other European yarn brands, and I don't know if they're just not carrying it anymore. They said, oh, we just have a few skeins in a sale bin that you can look at. And what do you know? There were 3 colors of Double Sunday. 2 of them are colors that I'm using in these stripes. So I think this is Regatta Blue and this is Green Tea. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like these are literally the colors that I needed. So if I do have to order more, I'll only have to order the yellow, the pink, and the light blue. But isn't that crazy? And they were like 40% off. And then this was the other color they had, which is color number 4632. I don't know what the name is, but it's this really pretty purple color. And they had a kids sweater quantity, so that I could, if I wanted to, make another Monday sweater junior without stripes. So I did get it. It was 40% off. So I got it. She was like, if you buy all of them, I'll give you like even more of a discount. I said, okay, because I was only going to take 5 and there was 6. She was like, take the 6th one and I'll give you an even bigger discount. So yeah, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got 6 skeins of these, which should be more than enough to make another Monday sweater junior, either in size 3 to 4 or 4 to 5. I'm not sure yet. Probably I'll make it 3 to 4 and then maybe just make the sleeves and the body longer. So that's my first acquisition, was that stuff that I got today. So the double Sunday and the 1 skein of Knitting for Olive Merino in Poppy Rose for my tulips. Then what other acquisition? I already talked about this Malabrigo worsted, which I'm going to use for the Sheepish little sweater. I just have to wind that up, but I do have this much of the blue left. So I'll probably just cast on with that, see how far I get. Probably not, I mean, it's not that much, so. Then, this was an unexpected acquisition, but I need to take a drink. Talking this long is tiring. Okay. So this was an unexpected acquisition, but I recently took a trip with my family, my husband and my kids, to Northern California. We were mostly in San Francisco, but we also stayed in Half Moon Bay a little bit. And usually I'm on the pulse of the local yarn stores whenever I'm traveling, but this trip was just kind of busy and I knew there was not a lot of room in my suitcase. So by the end of the trip, we were in Half Moon Bay. I didn't even bother looking up if there was a yarn store nearby. Well, I took my kids downtown to get ice cream one afternoon and we parked and I literally got out of the car. Lo and behold, in front of me is a yarn store. So I'm like, okay, I have to go in. Obviously, this is a sign. And I was like, I'll just look. Like, I don't have to get anything. It's not going to fit in the suitcase anyway. So I go in and it's the Bay Area yarn crawl was happening literally while I was there. So I'm like, okay, this is a sign. And they had these really cute bags. I went to the Brooklyn yarn crawl, I guess last year, and they also had really cute bags. Like, I think that's a fun thing to get if you're like, okay, I don't need more yarn. I don't have a project that I'm buying yarn for, but this kind of one-of-a-kind keepsake bag that you can use like for your projects or whatever is a really fun thing to get. And so this is just a really cool bag. It's like mesh bag and kind of structured, and it says Bay Area Yarn Crawl 2026 on it, and it has this really cute frog that's crocheting. And actually the people that work there, they knit a giant frog that was crocheting. Like they knit this basically they told me they used a knitting machine, and they had it sitting in the front window. I'll put like a picture or video. It was so cute. And so I'm sorry, I couldn't resist this bag. So first I grabbed the bag. And then I'm walking around with my daughters, and like obviously they're getting me all hyped up. They're like, oh, get the sparkly one, like get this, get that. And I'm like, okay, you guys, relax. So I did obviously buy yarn because this thing is full, you can see. But what really stood out to me was this brand Peninsula yarn, which the ladies working there told me that she's an indie dyer. in Northern California. I forget exactly where, but I'm pretty sure north of San Francisco. And all of her yarns, like her yarn colors, were just gorgeous. Like, I just couldn't stop looking at them, and it just felt really special. Yarn that you couldn't necessarily get anywhere else. So I got some. I decided to get, she had, so this is a cotton wool blend that I got 4 skeins of in this really, really pretty blue. And it's fingering weight, 50% superwash merino, 50% Pima cotton, and the color is Stormcloud. Fingering weight, like I just said. And I thought that this would be such a good yarn to make like a blouse #1 or some kind of summer blouse top situation. So I did get, at first I was gonna get 3 skeins, and then I thought, I'm never gonna be able to get more of this yarn. It's like hand dyed, indie dyer, California. I'll get 4 just in case. So I did get 4 of these, and I think it's showing a little like brighter on the camera. It's a little bit more muted, I think, in real life, I guess. But yeah, so super happy about this. It's super soft. It reminds me a lot of Knitting for Olive cotton merino, but it looks a tiny bit thicker, honestly. So I'm excited about this. Yay. The next thing that I got from the same Peninsula yarns is this. This is really the first thing of hers that struck me, and it was like right by the door. This is a merino silk blend, 60% merino, 40% silk, fingering weight, and it's this really beautiful light blue, but it has these little flecks of blue and green throughout them. And I just thought that was so interesting. And I'm not a huge like variegated yarn person for myself, but I thought this was just kind of very subtle and beautiful. And I love these colors. And there was a matching, I guess, or complementary mohair. So this is in this beautiful blue color and also has little flecks of green and I guess darker blue throughout. I'm not sure how well you can see, but I mean, I think that they're the same color. Forget me not. Yeah, so they're the same colorway. This is a Surrey fluff, so it's 75%. Oh, so it's not a mohair, actually. It's 75% baby Surrey alpaca, 25% silk. So my plan for this is to hold these together for a Monday sweater for myself. I think it's going to end up looking a little darker than this because you can kind of tell the mohair or the Surrey alpaca is a little bit darker. But I just love these colors. I think it's great color for my like color season complexion, whatever. So I definitely made sure that I wouldn't run out of this. Also for a Monday sweater, I looked up the yarn amounts and I think I should be good. So that's what I got from the Peninsula yarn brand. And then the last thing I just grabbed, which really stood out to me for the fun colors, is this Gusto Wool Echoes Worsted. It's a worsted weight. It's 80% wool, 20% nylon. In this really fun, like rainbow variegated. I got 3 skeins of this and they're 100 grams. So I got 300 grams of this. And I just thought this was so fun. It almost like makes me think of ice cream, or I don't know, but I just thought these colors were so fun, and I want to make some kind of like knit tank top, sleeveless top situation for my daughters, like matching ones. So I was thinking if I got 3, hopefully that would be enough, like 150 grams each for the tank tops. So I'm not sure. I definitely think I'm gonna knit them. I prefer the knit look for variegated yarns than for crochet. Crochet would be easier because I feel like I can freestyle easier in crochet, but I've kind of been looking around at some patterns that I could potentially use for this, but I might still, kind of the idea that I have actually is something a little bit like this kind of construction, but with like a raw edge, and it's just a tank top. So kind of something like that, but in this thicker yarn and maybe a little bit more shaped and like shaped here. So that's kind of the idea. If anybody has a pattern that uses a worsted weight yarn that's like that, let me know. But yeah, I think the fact that it's not like nylon, it'll be pretty durable, and kind of like an all season fun tank top, but I just love these colors and I just couldn't resist. So that's my Bay Area yarn crawl haul. And I just love this little frog. He's so awesome. And yeah, so that's that. So I went a little cray cray, but you know what? It's like souvenir yarn. I'll always think of that really fun trip whenever I wear anything made with those yarns. So I think that's it for acquisitions. Oh, actually, no. I have like I have 2 more acquisitions. Okay, so the first thing that I got in this order is yarn to make a baby blanket for baby number 4. I've never really made blankets for my kids, but like I said, my baby and child knitting and crochet mojo is like through the roof. And I also am a little bit like, if this is my last baby, I want to like do all the baby stuff. So I was looking through crochet blanket patterns, like baby blankets, and I found this really cute one. It's called the Tea Party Daisy Flower Blanket by Hooked with a Twist, and I'll put some pictures, but it's basically a bunch of, I guess they're daisy crochet squares. They have 4 different colors, and the main sample that they have is like pink in the middle and then light pink and then white, and then the square itself is this light green. And so I kind of wanted to copy that, except instead of the light green, I wanted to do light blue. I just really like pink and blue together. So these were the yarn colors that I picked out. I have like a light pink, kind of a hot pink, you know, baby blue, and a white. And this is all 220 Superwash Merino. I figured because it's a baby blanket, I don't want it to be too, what's the word, like delicate, so that I couldn't wash it, because inevitably there will be like spit up or poop or whatever on it. So I only got a couple of skeins. Like I definitely didn't get enough for the whole blanket. And why did I do that? Because it doesn't, as far as I can tell from the Ravelry page, I haven't bought the pattern yet, it doesn't give the exact yarn amounts for each color. So I figured I'd just get, I think I got like 1 skein of each of these colors, and then maybe 2 or 3 of the blue. I don't want to rustle the bag again. But I can always get more, and it's not hand dyed, so I'm not worried about like color lot or anything like that. So I don't know when I'm going to cast that on, but I am really excited about it. I think it's going to be super cute. So it's a soon cast on. We're getting into plans now. So this is a soon cast on. And I just really like these colors together. Like I said, I love a pink and blue moment. So I'm excited about that. Oh my God. I'm so glad you can't see my desk because it's getting really scary. The other thing I got in this order is 3 skeins of Sunday by Sandnes Garn. This is color 4343, which I think is like Dusty Rose or something like that. It's a really pretty kind of muted pinkish color. And I got this for one of the Petiteknit baby patterns. Honestly, I don't even remember, but it's gonna get used. It's gonna get used for a little baby thing. I'm just not, I literally bought like so many of the Petiteknit baby patterns, and I'm kind of just like, I'm just gonna work through them all. We'll see. But I did get this Sunday, and I really like the color, and yeah, so that'll be something. I'm not sure yet. And then I have like two more, well, I have 3 more plans, but 2 that I have yarn for. So I'll talk about those. The first thing is, like I was just saying, I got so many Petiteknit baby patterns. A lot of the summer-ish ones all call for Duo by Sandnes Garn, which is what I knit this bonnet in. And I have a bunch of it in a bunch of different colors because, where did I put it? Oh, it's up here. It's behind me. I have a bunch of it in a, oopsie daisy. I have a bunch of it in a bunch of different colors because last year I was gonna make, she has a t-shirt pattern that has like stripes and little eyelets. I can't remember, but I'll put it in the description. And I was gonna make matching ones for my kids, and then I just didn't get to it. So I have all of these like small quantities of different colors of Duo, which is actually perfect because now I can make a bunch of baby stuff with it. So I have this purple, and with this I'm planning to make Willem's jumper. Yeah, Willem's summer overalls, which are so cute. They're like short sleeve with the straps and the buttons, and I can't, like, they're so cute. So I'm gonna make that with the purple. And then I have these 3 of pink, and like these 2 are a little kind of like the darker version of this. Now that I'm seeing it on camera, I'm a little worried there's not enough contrast, but with these, I plan to make the Marie's romper, also by Petiteknit. And that one has, it's a onesie, but it's like the top piece is one color, and then the kind of bottom, what do you call it? It's like just a diaper. It's like not even shorts. It just covers like the diaper, but it's one piece, and it has a cute little I-cord bow detail here. So I'm gonna do light, like the light color on the bottom, and then the darker color. No, sorry, the lighter color on the top, the darker color on the bottom. And that's also Duo by Sandnes Garn. The lighter one's 4032, and the darker one is 4344. So that's gonna be really cute for another little summer baby piece. So those are my next 2 like summer baby cast on plans. This is getting out of control, the amount of stuff that's piled here. Okay. Okay, the other plan that I have is I also auctioned in my kids' school auction like an adult garment, and another mom got it. And so I thought a while, like, what should I make? I've been really inspired by these crochet cardigans that are just like 2 big granny squares, or sorry, 4 big granny squares, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 in the back, and then like 1, 2, 3, 4 for each sleeve, and they're kind of like oversized. I'll put some pictures, and they have ties. And so I asked her if that would like be in her style, and she said yeah. And I have this really nice yellow, this is the honey alpaca from, I don't know if you say it Majo or Mayo or Majo or what, but Majo Majo yarns. I don't know, but I'm like obsessed with this. It's so soft, and I have the matching mohair. So I'm thinking I'm gonna use those two, but I'm gonna use like a bigger hook so that's kind of still like airy and springy, because it's a really springy, beautiful color. So that's another plan. And then the last thing that I've been thinking about is I really want to make matching vests, or just like a vest for each of my kids. I just feel like that's such a good piece to have, like a transitional piece for going into spring or going into fall. And I was looking at the holiday slipover by Petiteknit. This is a very Petiteknit heavy day, but I don't own the pattern, but I was looking at it, and it uses Snefnug yarn by Kemmerer, and I've really wanted to try that yarn. And since it has some cotton in it, I feel like that's a good like transitional yarn. So that's another thing that I don't have yarn for. I don't have the pattern either, but it's something that I feel like could be a quick project and is on my mind for spring, and just things that I feel like my kids could use in their wardrobe, and would get a lot of use, because you could like, if it's a chilly morning but it's not that cold, you can like throw it on top, you can take it off. So yeah, that's kind of my last plan, or like thing I'm thinking about. I mean, I'm obviously always thinking about so many things, but in terms of things I will probably actually follow through on, that's kind of the last thing that's been on my mind. So yeah, that was a lot. I've been recording for an hour. So, okay, well, if you made it this far, wow, thanks for doing that. This is my first time recording a podcast, so like we'll see how it comes out. And yeah, stay tuned for, I mean, I would love to do this every couple months, I guess. It's obviously been 3 months since the start of the year. In 3 months, I will have a newborn, so maybe before then I could do one more and show you guys what I'm working on. But yeah, I'm just so inspired by all the little baby knits. So if you out there are working on some baby knits or knits for your younger kids, please put them in the description, because it's literally all I can think about right now. My one-track mind is like child knits, child crochet pieces. So yeah, if you know, let me know what you guys are working on, what's inspiring you right now, colors. I'm like loving bright colors. I'm looking at everything on my desk right now, and I'm like, this is like a rainbow threw up on my desk. So I'm loving colors right now. It's just making me so happy after a long, hard winter. So yeah, thanks again, and I hope you enjoyed and got some inspiration, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye.